Church, my name is Courtney, and I'm the local mission director here at CA Church. Sam and I are excited to share some updates with you about our cultural food pantry.
Yeah, one of the things that's very clear as we look at the life of Jesus through the gospel accounts is that he cares deeply about those who are marginalized. We see him going around healing the sick and casting out demons and caring for the poor, and especially paying attention to those that the rest of culture had pushed out to the margins. And this is something that we as a church have cared deeply about for the last 50 years. And one of the primary ways, especially in the last few years, that we have been doing that is through our cultural food pantry.
And we've got some exciting updates to share with you. But before we take a moment to look ahead and see where God has been calling us, let's take a moment to look back and hear a little bit about our history of the pantry.
We've been serving vulnerable members of our community for many years, since 2008, in fact. We used to have something we called the Open Pantry, and we served 30 families at that time. When we had COVID, we had to shift a little bit, well, a lot actually, and we delivered groceries to people's homes. Eventually, we were able to invite them in as drive-by, so they were just picking up their own groceries. And then, little by little, we were able to actually see them in person. And that's when we opened the Cultural Food Pantry when the new building was built in 2022. And it's been wonderful over the past 3 years to welcome in new Canadians and get to know them well, see their languages develop. It's just been a real pleasure.
We are so excited to see all that God has done through the food pantry and local missions up until this point. Really grateful for the impact that this ministry has been able to have in the Tri-Cities.
We've seen local mission grow and change over the years to meet the needs of the community. And as we step into this new season of where we believe God is leading us, we're doing this again. And while things may look a little bit different, the heart remains the same, to care for the most vulnerable in the Tri-Cities. We realize that providing food isn't enough on its own. Poverty isn't just about physical needs. It's spiritual, emotional, physical, mental. We believe that God is calling us into these deeper places to address the roots of poverty. Through our research and experience, we keep coming back to the same truth, that poverty is about broken relationships with God, ourselves, others, and the world around us. We believe that true healing happens in community. That's why we feel God leading in this direction, to create safe spaces where people can belong, find purpose, and give back to that community that they love.
So that's why we're making a change, because we want our church to be a place where everyone knows that they belong, where people believe and see that they all have gifts to contribute, and where people aren't just blessed by what we give, but blessed by relationship and friendships that are formed in community.
Yeah. So what's next? We're transitioning our food pantry into something new, a low-cost market and a community cafe.
This low-cost market is going to give families the opportunity to get really healthy foods at really low costs.
Yeah.
And so a couple grocery bags full of healthy foods and vegetables that might cost $40 or $50 at Save-On or any of these other supermarkets, they're going to get for $5 or $6. One of the things we're most excited about with the changes is our community cafe. And so I want you to imagine a meal that regularly happens where people come together in community, and maybe some are involved in preparing the meal and chopping up vegetables and cooking, and someone else is involved in setup, and maybe another person comes with a song that they want to share at the meal and play a song, use their gifts. And so what we imagine is that support will naturally happen as people come together and build these friendships and relationships, that this is a place where lives will be transformed by the gospel.
Yeah, we are so excited about these changes, and we believe that God is going to do beautiful things through this ministry. These updates will take place at the end of May. And in June, we're going to jump into bi-weekly barbecues where we'll test out our community cafe and the low-cost market. We can't do this alone, and we would love for you to be a part of this new season of ministry. There are 3 ways that you can get involved. The first is to pray. Would you pray for us as we step into this new season and navigate these changes so that we can serve our community in the best way possible? The second is to serve. Would you join us? We would love for you to be able to bring your gifts, your talents, your abilities, and be a part of this ministry. And finally, would you give? You can be a part of God's mission financially as we make an impact here in Coquitlam.
We believe that these changes are going to help us not only deal with the symptoms of poverty, but to really get to the root of it and to see life transformation happen as Jesus encounters people through the context of really deep, genuine, long-term relationships. And so I want to invite you to join us in this journey.